Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Green Factor, a show where we talk about green design and the business of sustainability. This episode of Green Factor will be the Green Factor Unplugged, where we talk to Mia from Unplug. Hi, Mia.
Hi.
So, on this session, we'll be talking to some of the brands under your shop. So, before we go into that, just to reintroduce again, why we do the show is because Unplug, when they have companies that's coming in under them to be showcased or to sell under their shop, they need to follow certain standard or metrics. So that's why you have like 8 metrics, right, Mia?
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, share a little bit again about the metrics, and then we can go to our guest for today.
Sure. So, for those who don't know, Unplug is a retail concept shop in Malaysia. We're one of the few and the very first retail platforms to support eco-conscious brands. Most of them are small independent labels. And so we now host over a network of 50 brands from Malaysia and around the world. And we curate around 8 ecometrics or values that we want to promote. And so those values are eco-friendly packaging, eco-friendly materials, sustainable procurement, social impact, zero waste innovation, preserving traditional skills, fair trade, and lastly, local made. So, this whole year we've been interviewing local brands to sort of drive that message and the importance around supporting local. So today I'm quite excited. We're speaking to Remedy, who is, who gave birth during pandemic, and they're a local brand that's really paving the way for something new as well.
Hello.
Hi, John.
Oh, I'm not used to this. Like I put up my right hand, but I'm seeing my left hand. Wait.
Gotta get used to it.
Okay.
So welcome, John. Thank you for coming in. I think Mia, we will slightly go into the metric and story as well. But before we go further into the discussion, for the benefits of our viewers, can you just share a little bit, John, about yourself and your journey, and why you choose to be in this competitive space?
I don't really know whether I didn't know what it is a competitive space, but I have been one of those guys who have been creating once in the community. So I've been in retail for the past 15 years. So I'm also the one that's responsible for the brands like Anatomy, for example. And before that, I've been doing Ripco for the longest period of time. So throughout this time, I've always been exposed to sustainability in that sense. In Ripco, we are a surf brand, so we are very into the environment and surf, right? So surf cannot exist without oceans. So we have from day one we have been very involved in cleanups. But one thing you realize in cleanups, every single year you're doing that, right? But you realize something is wrong because every single year, the trash you clean up at the place every single year at the same time seems to be growing. So the world is consuming, the society is consuming more and throwing away more, and it still ends up in the ocean. So we are not really doing that much. So ever since then, I've always wanted to do more for sustainability, but I think like everyone else in the society, we are driven by the need to succeed, to earn more, to be career minded. So I've always landed up if giving myself the excuse that, oh, I can do it next year, I can do it next time when I'm more free. But you realize that actually with the pandemic, maybe you realize that maybe there's no next time. It really hits you that, look, yeah, there might be no next time. If then what you regret most if you don't do. So this was one of my bucket lists that I wanted to do. So I started Remedy, I call Remedy my redemption project, because I've been always creating once. So I really want to make Remedy a very conscious effort to educate people about the need to be more conscious about what they buy, and this is why I started Remedy. So I think I should introduce what Remedy does for everybody's sake. Okay, so Remedy is actually a natural product store. We focus on 100% local brands, and in areas like skincare, body care, as well as nutrition supplements products. So we wanted to carry things that's good for us as well as the environment. So it should not be just we didn't want to carry things just for the environment, but better for us as well as the environment. That's the motto of Remedy. That's why the name Remedy as well. So both a remedy for us as well as for the environment. Okay,
Is
so
it like all of it locally made, or how do you make? Because you have a lot of products under the Remedy brand, so are those all made by you guys, or how does it work?
we emphasize on going for more locally made products. Um, so when we first started off, I think we were very much like Mia in the sense that we wanted to just carry third-party products, but the pandemic has been quite stressful. So I understand the retail world quite well. So like surviving on third-party brands and stuff is really really tough. So I salute to Mia there. Um, so one of the solutions was to go vertical, to start having some of our own products, and that's what we did, and that helped with our survival during the hard times. I would still say that we're still struggling a bit right now because I think all sustainable brands all have it tough. It's not an easy path to go. But that's what's happening with us. Okay, that's how
Yeah.
we started. But you
Understood.
answer the question, yeah.
Mm.
In all the things, not everything is made totally here. So, like for example, some of the sisal bags we are trying to find locally made one, but it comes from China. But I would say that 98% of what you see in the store is actually made locally here.
Awesome. So I think Mia, maybe we can start to go a little bit deeper.
Sure. So I think I wanted to really focus on two of the metrics that I feel like Remy really champions, which is a metric that I don't really see many brands having an easy time with, which is eco-friendly packaging. And that goes beyond just, oh, I've got like a jute bag that you can reuse, or this is made out of an eco-friendly material. It's much more than that, and I can see that translate into the store experience as well and your operations. So I really want to dive into that, and then also dive into, as a business, the importance of you really zooming into local supply and sourcing. So my first question is, when you created Remedy and the store experience, because when I first walked in, it's very different. And I don't want to compare, but of course, you come in and you're like, this is not a zero waste shop, but then there's a refillery concept here. And there's an experience to it. So what inspired you to, create such experiences? And how did that all come about?
One, so when we wanted to do this, we wanted people from all walks of life to come in. So if we just target if we just become a bit like a zero waste store, it is a bit tough to interest people that from all walks of life. And one of the purpose for Remedy is really to be able to encourage people to go more conscious in what they buy. So teach them more about the products. So to do that, I need to attract all kinds of people to come in, not just the sustainability advocates. So that's why it's very important to make the shop look as good as it can. And the other thing is because I want to be able to really advocate people to go for local products rather than. So my purpose is not really to compete with the rest of the local products. My purpose is to change them from an international product to a local product. So I hunt for the best in Malaysia. Really try to find what's really good and products that are as good or even better than international ones, and so that we can push that to the consumers. But one thing is true is actually the local brands are the international brands are not better than us than local brands, but they market better than us. That is the absolute truth.
Do you
So
would you be open to sharing like a demonstrating with one of your products, and comparing that to what we typically see as from an international brand, so that we can understand better?
I think a good example would be like, for example, I don't have any products with me right now, but like for example, a lot of the international brands, a lot of people think that look, the product is fantastic. I mean, I'm not saying that they are not. Usually, some of them are really good, but if you talk about it apple to apple, right? Sometimes you can see if you know ingredients well enough, like I am a bit better off now. I would say I'm very good at that. But when you start seeing the ingredients that you start realizing that they're actually not. It's just like typical standard ingredients that you see. But it's just that the product looks extremely beautiful.
So it's more about the marketing and branding.
Yeah. For example, okay, like a lot of times if you go into, I don't want to name names. That's the problem, I don't want to get
Yeah, sure.
guys
No,
in trouble.
no names.
Yeah. So if you go like, okay, there's this brand. Okay, there's this brand. Uh, People tend to not know that it's very unnatural. It smells really good. It's very colorful. And but the way they do the packaging, the packaging makes it look like it's very natural. Because
Yeah.
there's very little kind of a very raw packaging there.
Yeah.
So because of all the bright colors and the smell, people like to go in there and they think that it's good for them. But it's actually not
Yeah.
good because it's all using synthetic ingredients, so fragrances as well as artificial coloring in the product. But people don't know that.
Yeah.
So here,
That's that that's really interesting. Like, what's your take on, or how have your customers responded to, one, minimal packaging, and then the whole refillery concept? Because sometimes I get a mixed message with customers at my shop when it comes to skincare. The branding and packaging does add value for them. Like, I
yeah,
see that they swerve more towards the products with branding and packaging, and even though we explain to them the benefits, it gives them a level of trust level with the brand, with the brand itself.
yeah. Unfortunately, that's what you call better marketing, and that's what is happening right now. So if a product looks more professional uh, and looks better off, they tend to have that confidence that this is made by a more successful company,
Yeah.
and it's probably going to be better made. So they associate confidence that way, uh, which is unfortunate. But I don't blame them in that sense as well because it's easier to understand that. Of course, if you can see it being made on the spot yourself, you cannot.
So I think it's not really an issue if people like this kind of things. I think it's the way we tell our story as well, and the way we approach this matter. So I think like one of the main issue with a lot of this skincare, or like it's the packaging, right? So how do you approach the issue of your packaging?
I I think it's a very good question. Packaging is one thing that I think in our inception for 1+ year now, we have changed it like three times already. And it's something that I'm learning all the way. So when Remedy first started, we started with application of glass, right? Um, Glass, of course, is better for natural products because it's one of the most inert materials. But it's an environmental problem because glass is only sometime this year, I think early this year, we realized that glass is something that people don't like to recycle. The recyclers don't like to collect it because they don't make money recycling it. They lose money when they transport it to the recyclers. So inherently, once we realized that, we started to change our packaging as well. So now, if you see, we started to look at bioplastic packaging. I was debating a lot. Actually, this is not my first choice. I wanted to go aluminium, but thinking about it, right, I think it will make better sense if we start advocating this, because it's more likely the brands here, the local brands here, will change to something like this rather than aluminium, because aluminium is very expensive. It will bring the cost up tremendously for any brands out there. So that's why a lot of the local brands still go to plastic. They don't really have a choice. But we were asking all the suppliers here. Actually, we asked a lot of the packaging suppliers. We didn't want to bring it in ourselves. We asked the suppliers here, look, can you bring this in for us? The answer they came back, no, because no one wants it. I said, we want it. But they said the answer is, nah, it's not worth it, not worth our time to bring it, especially when bringing it in. So
Yeah,
we
I think that's.
and bring it ourselves,
So is that produced here in Malaysia or?
Unfortunately, no. We don't have the capability of doing that. This comes from
Okay.
China, unfortunately. So when you look
Okay.
at the tag inside, right, it says bioplastic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
just to explain what's the difference, I mean, bioplastic takes around 50 plus years to biodegrade, whereas a petroleum-based plastic will take 500 to 1,000 years to biodegrade. So it's a
Yeah.
lesser.
Hmm. So I think like one of the way like I normally advocate for sustainability is more toward bulk buying. So that's
Yes.
why like I want to ask whether are you looking for people to buy as well with you so that you can get the cost average and reduce the shipment and all that.
That's a good question as well. Okay, so there's two parts to this. Actually, I don't. We were thinking whether should we, increase should we give more discount when they buy more. Um, I think we are leaning towards the answer no, because we don't really want them to buy more. We want them to buy what they need, because this is one of the things I learned in retail. Retail has always been going for a promotion-based kind of thing, and promotion is basically to seduce you to buy more. And if we keep giving discounts for you buying more, then we're just encouraging you to buy more, not really what you need or you don't need. So I
To
think going
consume
forward,
more, right?
yeah.
We don't want
So
people to consume more.
yeah, so we don't mind doing it by bulk. So we do encourage people to bring back the bottle after use and buy a refill. Um, but we are slowly going towards to change as well. So we used to do that. We actually used to, the bigger volume you buy, we actually give you a better discount. But now I think we're going next. I think sometime this year we're actually going to transition towards, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same, because we don't want you to buy more. We want you to buy what you need. Hopefully, it won't kill us on the way. I don't know whether I'm doing the right thing or not. I'm just winging it and putting my faith on
Yeah.
the
No,
people.
I feel like it's always like when you're trying to do things sustainably in the retail space, it's like a pendulum. You're like, oh, this makes sense, but then, in terms of business profitability, you're like, okay, but then how do we meet the middle point where it works out long term and for the business to sustain as well? Because I know what you had just mentioned about difficulty in sourcing the right kind of eco packaging. It's a cost implication too. It's not available like in Malaysia. We've tried, even when it comes to styrofoams, where you can plug something in, and it's shaped that way for glass bottles and such. Like what is an alternative that can do its function, that's also safer for the environment? It's very difficult, and the supply chain isn't here yet. Do you think that will change in the near future as the demand grows?
When the demand grows, yes, but I think as of now, from what I see in the environment, the community, the society is still not going for it at the moment, which is what we're trying to do now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Mia, Harif, I think all of us are trying to educate and encourage people to go more, to change. So
Yeah,
if they don't change, retail will change. If retail don't change, the supply chain will change.
correct.
So the people that need to change.
How has the response been in terms of the take up for refillery versus prepackaged?
I think we are doing okay. I would say that it's if you talk about percentage wise, it's still very low. So normally,
Mm-hmm.
people come in. I always share this story. I think I always tell Najmia, I find it more satisfying when I sell to them a free bottle of upcycled packaging than them buying a new packaging like this. For example, they buy a new bottle, but somehow or other, people still gravitate to something that is they believe it's safe, it looks good. They are not. When they see it, even though you have to pay much more for this, which I do not know why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but the percentage is still skewed towards this. I would say 1 out of 10 people that come in will buy a new bottle rather than. But the good news is that once they buy this, there is a good chance that they come back and refill. The only problem that we face right now is we only have one store, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
they like the product, then if they want to buy a refill, how do they do it? So I'm still grateful for some of the customers that would travel like from Subang, from Chala to come here to buy a refill. You know, because maybe it's
Right.
once a month instead of more regularly. But yeah, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, like we've also seen slowly it's growing since we carry your products. The refillery response is finally, showing up more and more as we continue. And I think it's just more like it takes more consideration for people to change their habit. It's really about a change of lifestyle, really.
And they expect a full service one. You see, like
Yeah.
we recently did one with Cura, but whereby they need to do it themselves, and it doesn't work. You need
Hmm.
to be there to serve them. They want to, yeah, and
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, that is also the thing. Like you see a lot of bulk stores. That's what I'm trying to tell the bulk stores as well. You can't go on the price route because if you go on the price route, the only way you can achieve it at low cost is to increase production.
Hmm.
And if you keep doing that, you're just going to promote consumption. So the
Yeah.
only way is to go towards slow retailing, whereby we make better products. Less less frequently, more
Hmm.
fresh. That's what the ethos we have. That's why we went for natural products as well.
Yeah. Trick
So
question. Um, since you have 15 years of retail behind you, honestly, do you think slow retail can be sustainable as a business?
in
And
Malaysia,
and
to
to
be
what
fair,
scale?
start remedy right. I started it with the intention of failure.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So when I first started, it was just a real bucket list thing. So let's I say it's a redemption project. My retail mind tells me dumb, it's waste of time, it's stupid. You are trying to change it because in retail you're always being trained. Sell what the people want.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier. So now in remedy we are trying to change what you want.
Right. Yep. Yep.
So you're going against what people are the trends. You're going against what. Okay, yes, you say that everything is trending towards the sustainability in the sense it's just a very very early stage. So we are the ones that is trying to set that trend.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No.
trendsetters are always going to be the ones that uh, yeah suffer the most.
Yeah. We're the first one to burn.
But just to share lah, a little bit some good experience lah for me. I think for us we started it I think like 10 years ago when I start doing recycle furniture and all that. At that time, nobody really buys our stuff. There's a lot of stigma to recycle wood and all that. But then luckily that year, 2012 was one of where the hipster cafe thing trend pick up. So we did a lot of those. So it started off the journey, and suddenly now like everyone is doing it, and like you have people doing at the back of their house and all that, which is good for me. Like, but it's become too saturated that for us we exit from the market right now. But in a way now we are reaping the benefit of being the pioneer. So people still come to us and all that. But for me, because I'm lucky, the trend is there that time. So I think right now, but like you say, I have the thinking that during COVID and all that, people are a bit more particular about sustainability, and it has pushed several things forward. And I would assume skin or the things that is close to us would be the one that change the most. Has it? Is it true?
I would say that we fight a very tough battle. I would say that most women, because you're talking about skincare, skincare, they are all thinking that foreign brands are far better. And I would say, yeah, everyone, if you ask 10 women out there, I'm sure most of them will be using a foreign brand, you know?
Yeah, I'm also noticing the same. Like after pandemic, one of the biggest customer behavior change that we saw is that our skincare category has dropped. It used to be one of the top categories for us before pandemic, and then I was really digging like and trying to understand why that is. I have a feeling one of the factors, not the main, but one of the factors is also these big non-natural skincare brands have now have come out with their own, conscious line or natural line. So it's always been a difficulty in convincing customers to try something local, try something natural. So yeah, that's been a challenge for us.
And I think a lot of people do not understand that. I just did a TED talk, so I just talked about the power of sponsorships. Why brands do that, and one way that skincare is taking off is the endorsements by all these superstars. So when you have such a well-known and beautiful person endorsing this brand, people naturally think that it's better for them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But it suits them. So irregardless whether it is really good or it's not good, you just, and sometimes it's very hard to tell. You put so much things onto your skin that it's bound to be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
Touching a
the
little bit, can I just deviate a little bit because you're talking about endorsement, right? But what about in the Malaysian context? Does because I see a lot of advertising billboards and all that where you have, I think celebrity is one, but then the founder faces, I see a lot of those. But like this is out of the topic, but does it work here in Malaysia?
founder faces. I don't know. Maybe they are trying to do personal branding as well. Maybe they are famous to some of the people. I'm not too sure. But normally I wouldn't do that.
Recommend.
Yeah, because I don't think it will do much. Maybe like okay, this is something that you see a lot in Korea or in Japan. They will put the farmer's face beside the product just to show trust, to make sure that you know that this I am the one that's doing this cow or this product. Don't really think that's the case here in Malaysia, but maybe it's more like they just want their face to be seen by millions. More like personal branding. Maybe that's the reason. But I don't really think it would help sales unless you are a famous figure. That will help market the product. Otherwise, no.
So I wanted to get to know a little bit more about the at least the skincare local supply and production chain here locally. Could you give us a bit of insights, like I don't know, in comparison to other countries that people might typically source from? How much do we have here in terms of resources? and also talent?
I would say that we're not like I think maybe in the natural skincare area we can still compete because most of the global trends is still very much in trend towards artificial skincare, whereby it's synthesized and it's very talking about performance more than anything else. So like you talk about countries like in Korea, US, they are the leading ones usually with, and France of course, the leading ones that is talking about with skincare um, manufacturing. Here in Malaysia, not so much. So here you're going for more for those that are more natural based. So whereby there's less processed ingredients involved. That's okay. Um, in terms of that's what's happening here. But I think if you wanted to go forth, yeah, you need to really try to help that industry grow as well. It's fundamentally here we do have a lot of production abilities as well. It's just that it's
Right.
maybe not advanced as over there.
So just to touch a little bit,
Okay.
because like certain markets they pour a lot of money into R&D, right? So like how do you guys do your own research and development, and how do you compete with those big money?
So we happen to have some very good. So when we first started Remedy, I think because our aim is to be a non-profit as well. So when I started, I don't have the concept of caring whether we grow the business or not. So we were lucky enough to get a couple of volunteers in. So we happen to have like dermatologists. We happen to have some people that are working that have worked before with formulation houses as well. So we have Malaysians that are working in Korea. We have Malaysians, one Malaysian formulationist that's based in America, working for uh, big formulation houses. So they have willingly volunteered to help Remedy, and they have been critical in contributing in ideas on how to formulate products. So now we actually have products that is equivalent to those that you see in other countries. Just like for example, I think I haven't put the serum into your store yet, I think Mia, but the serum actually comes from the guy that is from America. So that product, I would say that it's not 100% made in Malaysia because the base serum is actually imported from America because we don't have the technology to make that serum. So it was part of the project to help us survive. So when we started to have to go vertical, they said, okay, look, I'm going to help you out. This is big time for you, okay, but I'm going to give you something that is very, very good. Yeah. So he handed us the formula, say, look, but you have to source it here, the serum, because you can't make it there. So we
Right.
have to import that serum and do some mixing here, and then to add some more ingredients, and then that becomes what you call a base serum product.
Yeah.
But
Do you think you guys will have in the near future more of customization service to customers to kind of make their own scent or make their own soap that has benefits according to them?
yeah, that's what the one of the directions that we wanted to do. But that depends on how we can strengthen our ability internally as well. So that's something that we're trying to do. I think more important to me actually is the nutritional aspect. A lot of people think that external beauty is important, like skin. When it comes to Remedy, we always think of it as a skincare store. But one of the big emphasis I always tell everyone is that look, if you want to look good, you have to first start internal. So there's no point in trying to do things externally if you're not taking care of yourself internally. So yeah, it wouldn't work. So no matter how much good stuff you put on your face, it's not going to make you look good if you don't take care of your insides. So that's something that we're trying to advocate as well.
Yeah, yeah. With you're also delving into supplements, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's something that we're emphasizing a lot, and there's a very very big lack of understanding here. um, always it's just like we are very similar to maybe it's like some of the more southern countries whereby they think that they want instant results. They always want
Yeah.
instant, which is not always good. It's not always good.
Yeah. Anything natural is not instant.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to build it. It's not like, oh yeah, it's fixed
Yeah. It's definitely.
again. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I look forward to your growth in supplements and consumables.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think I've pretty much covered a lot of the questions, and I think John has shared a lot as well. Maybe last word from you, John, in terms of what you wish to deliver to our customers.
Yeah, I think to if you I think one thing one stigma is that just like myself when I first started to dwell into sustainability, you feel like you're not good enough. You feel like you're not good enough to start. And when you always see some people that are like vegan, they're doing so much to save the planet, and you feel like you're okay. Either I do that or I don't do it at all. But that's not true. I think everybody can contribute in a very very small way. It's what's comfortable to you. I finally realized to live with myself. Look, there's only so much you can do. You feel comfortable in doing, and I think it's looking at it as a growing process. So you slowly encourage yourself to do more for the planet, where you can incorporate with your life rather than think like, look, straight away I should do all this. I should give up meat. You know, I should do constantly recycling. I should not. I should buy all recycled products. I should not use paper bags or anything or disposable packaging at all. But that's hard because you're living in a society and you want to live a life as well. But if you are able to consciously think about it and ask yourself the question, and sometimes you might have cheat days where you don't feel like you do it, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But as you can grow and you can encourage yourself to keep going on that path and incorporate slowly and do more and incorporate your life, that's all the planet can ask for.
Yeah, agreed. And just a reminder to our viewers, you guys can view many of Remedy's products at Unplug in Bangsa Village. It's quite central to most of you guys. We also have the prepackaged goods as well as refillery concepts. And refillery, it's for your body, also for household cleaning goods. So come by, check it out. Our team is ready to serve you. And also encourage you guys to visit their store in Zongshan, which is very, very beautiful.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff, guys. So thank you very much, John, for coming in. Mia, thank you very much,
Welcome.
and viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. If you want to support them, go to their website or go to their shop. I think a lot of this thing, it's nice to have a feel rather than just see it online. So do drop by their shop and enjoy it for yourself and learn more, because are really, they like to talk as well. So like we can learn more when going there as well. So do visit them. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you guys, and for everyone else, we are at the end of the show. If you like this episode, please share it. If you want to learn more, follow us on social media. And as always, see you next week. Have a green week ahead. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.